Hello, and I do hope this moment finds you well. Today I'm going to be talking about a few things that have happened and been said within the community, and even a couple things that have been said toward me. So sit back, put your seatbelt on, get your cocktail, get your snack, and let's proceed, shall we? The first situation I'd like to talk about is Bombshell. Bombshell Reloaded. So it's come to my attention because I heard it with my own ears. See how that works? It's come to my attention because I heard it with my own ears and I've seen it come right out her mouth. You see how that works? You see how some things just come to a girl's attention? Listen, people. It seems Bombshell is not impressed with me. She's not very impressed with me right now. Those are her words. Like Shania Twain. Just, you don't impress me much, Mallory Williams. You don't impress me much. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I get it. But here's why. Apparently, she didn't appreciate a live stream, a portion of live stream that I did in regards to a stream that she did that hosted Randy's Life, One Win, and I'm sure you all seen it. So many of you have seen it. And Jamie Bobaney, right? And I think a couple other people popped up briefly. So here's the thing. I spoke on that in a video, and there was a portion of the video where for lack of a better word, I disagreed on how it was handled. A segment, a portion of how it was handled. And I thought, not to rehash a video, an entire situation, but I had thought that when Randy's Life, I'm using no notes for names. Normally I have names so that I can refer to names. Terrible at names, so forgive me. Randy's Life had come up onto the panel for some time and backdoored Savage onto the live, where it was known that Bombshell didn't want Savage on panel. So Randy's Life backdoored her. And I said, in my response, and my take, which I'm perfectly entitled to, as a YouTuber, I said that I feel that Bombshell failed to drop the bomb that night, and missed an opportunity to really just kind of flex her muscle and take control of her panel, and in fact, in that moment, really relinquished control, because it went on for about 10 minutes. Perhaps a little less, but let's just round up. About 10 minutes. Allowing this to go on. And I said quite clearly that I feel like Randy probably should have been booted from the stream to pull such a stunt. I would have booted her. I just don't think that was appropriate or a nice thing to do. And that's all I said. And apparently, Savage, that didn't impress Savage much. Now, Savage come in, excuse me, see, I just said Savage again, right? I'm sorry, Savage. If you're out there listening, I apologize. I don't mean to throw you under the bus in this. I told you, I don't have names listed, and I'm getting my people confused. That didn't impress Bombshell much. Apparently, Savage just comes off my tongue a little easier. So Bombshell, it didn't impress Bombshell much, okay? Bombshell was not happy with me whatsoever. So Bombshell came under my comment section a few days later, and she let me have the what for. She just let me have the entire what for. Basically just ripping my hide. Okay? And I responded to her. I don't think she ever saw it. You know, some people don't get alerts to responses, and maybe she did see it. I don't know, but she never responded to my response. She never acknowledged it. And she said, she said, listen, I will be responding to this. She said that while she was tearing my hide. Bet your ass, Miss Williams. I'm embellishing slightly. I will be responding to this. Well, she did. She included a response in one of her lives where she proceeded to tell me that I shouldn't be talking down to no one. I shouldn't be talking down to her because she is one of the only ones, if not the only one, I'm the only one, walk across the fire for you. See what I'm saying? I'm the only one. She's the only one who come to my aid and swung the bat for me when people were coming to me several months ago. And she really had my back, apparently. No one else. Now, she goes on to say that when people were coming for her, accusing her of going after 13-year-old boys or young boys, that I was nowhere to be seen. Didn't say a word in her defense. Well. People will show their true colors. We know who people really are. You know, no, you don't know who I am. Apparently, you don't know. You know, don't throw me into the category of that. Here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say, people, in response to that. You know, I'm really watering down her tone, because I really don't want to make quite an issue of it. Really watering it down. Because I'm really trying not to take it to heart. But I do want to address it. Because I feel like it should be addressed. So the first thing I want to say is, I really am sorry that what I said offended you. It wasn't intended to offend you. It wasn't targeted at you. It really wasn't. It wasn't meant to. It wasn't meant to beat you over the head in any way. My commentary. It wasn't. If anything, I was really there to show support. You know. Mainly for Janie. I'm not gonna lie. Mainly because I feel like I got what Janie was doing, and I feel like I got where I feel like I understood what was happening with Bombshell. What I saw, what I witnessed. I saw a lady who had been momentarily defeated. She just seemed completely defeated and depleted, right? She was crying. She was just not with it. She couldn't really stand on her own 2 feet that night because she was getting bulldozed from every direction. In my opinion, she couldn't hold her own that night. And it's understandable. She had just went one too many rounds with these people, with all of them. I mean, she'd been boxing night after night after night after night in every direction. Every direction. Which I had also said in my live stream. Sometimes people don't know when to just bow out. And before you know it, you're 2 steps away from the loony bin. But here's another thing that I want to say. I don't think Bombshell, that it is wise to smack the hands or smack down or rip the hide of people that are not necessarily coming at you, not necessarily speaking out against you. Even if these people, such as myself, may not be rising to the occasion as you wish or as you hoped, there's no real evidence that we're coming at you either. So what I'm saying is, don't you have enough foes on YouTube? Do you really think that Mallory Williams is worthy of being yet another adversary in any way or on your shit list? I don't think so. I just don't think so. I don't know how that could be beneficial in any way. Some things I feel like you can just make a mental note. I didn't really get what Mallory was doing. I didn't really appreciate it. But to come out and rip hide over it, I don't think that was the best decision. That's just my opinion. There's a lot of things done and said on YouTube that I don't make a fuss over. I'm like, right? And I certainly wasn't ripping the hide of Bombshell. I certainly was not ripping the hide of Bombshell. There's anyone who listens to my stream with reasonable ears will see that I was not ripping the hide of Bombshell in any way. But let me elaborate, just so we're clear, why I didn't rise to this occasion of someone or a group of people insinuating, I don't know, that she's a pedophile. I don't know if that word was used, but obviously it's insinuated. Here's the thing, Bombshell. For basically the past, let's just say the past 2 months, definitely the past month and a half, we have been dealing with a very close family member who's been passing, in the process of passing, here on our property, who lives right here with us. And that's really where our focus has been up until October 16th when she passed. She was not in a hospice facility. She wanted to pass here at home. And anybody who knows and's going through that, when you have people capable of taking care of a loved one, hospice is not going to stay on your property 24 hours a day. They're going to send nurses to check, They're gonna send assistants and all that good stuff, CNAs. They're gonna do what they can do with short visits. That's what they're gonna do. But ultimately, it's up to the family to keep that patient going the best we can comfortably as they transition from life to death. And this was such a case where it was completely grueling, because this was a very slow process. Very slow process. And albeit my sister was the primary caregiver, I was right there as supporting cast. So this was 24-hour care, day and night. This was the primary focus of our lives. So you will forgive me if I had no recollection, no idea what was going on in Bombshell's world. I didn't know. I wasn't watching One Win at the time. I wasn't paying attention to your channel. You certainly didn't see me in your channel. You certainly didn't see me participating. You certainly never saw me come through and said, hey girl, I'm hanging out. Sorry, people are calling you. You didn't see me. I was nowhere. I was nowhere. I may have, on the rarest of occasion, I might have done some kind of video, and if I did, it was so rare, and that was, trust me, a downtime for me, and it was an escape. I don't remember doing much, if anything, and I didn't share that experience with anybody on YouTube. It's not what I do. Those are personal matters that, we go through as a family, but it's done, it's over now, and she has passed on. But, I can't apologize. I can't even apologize to you for not rising to the occasion and running a rant video about you shouldn't call Bombshell this or that or this or that. I had no idea. I could not jump in on a situation where you were going back and forth with these people. And I will say, let me be very clear. I'm not sure how I feel, to be honest, when someone decides to come for bat for me for something, which I honestly feel, was very out of line. What was happening to me. Not to say what's happening to you isn't out of line, but I want to I want to set the tone for what was going on. I did not have a history with Savage. I did not have a back and forth relationship with Savage. Nor did I have this ongoing back and forth relationship with Shannon 681. We didn't have that relationship. We weren't in a perpetual game of ping pong. Oh, I might have made reference to them here and there a few times. I might have referred to them as the dog pound, sure. But I'm telling you right now, I didn't have an ongoing relationship with them. And they did not have an ongoing relationship with me. There's no evidence of it. I think it's fair to say there wasn't a mutual respect for one another, apparently. I think perhaps a bridge too far was taken. I think that's pretty fair. A bridge too far had been taken. But that's about it. After that, did you see me going back and forth trying to light somebody's front porch on fire? Did you see me up all night making rant videos and just trying to, it was, no. It is what it is. I stated my case. People in the community stated their case. They fell in line wherever they wanted to fall in line. They showed support to whoever they wanted to show support to. And it was over. I'm not going to sit there. I don't know Savage. And the truth is, I don't know 681. And I'm not going to waste my time sitting there perpetually fighting with a couple ladies that I don't know them. And they don't know me. That's the bottom truth. Now, you, however, will and have. You will and you have and you continue. Because you're not willing just to say, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. Let them come for me. I'm not giving it back. I'm not serving it back. I'm a middle-aged woman. Somebody's got to stand up and say enough is enough. Now, if they're not willing to do it, you should be willing to do it. Because mental health is key here. One of you ladies, whether it be you, Shannon, Savage, Pirate, whoever's involved, somebody in this group eventually is going to have to say, my mental health is at play here. And my mental health means more to me than going back and forth with this person. Whoever decides. Whoever decides. That's just where I'm at. You know. I mean, you can see, for me, I walked. I wasn't involved. I was nowhere to be seen. I wasn't involved in any of that. So that time gave me a completely new perspective, right? All of it gave me a completely new perspective on everything. It gave me a new reset. I was able to determine how I wanted to move forward, how much of my mentality I wanted to invest in people and situations on YouTube, right? How deep was I gonna go? Who was I gonna mingle with? Who was I not gonna mingle with? What battles was I gonna continue with? None. And you know, I'm gonna let go of some of these things. You know, I'm gonna let go of some of these things. I'm repositioning, shuffling the deck, so to speak. You know, maybe some people that I was once cool with, I no longer want to deal with, and I'll use them for fodder now, right? And people that I wasn't cool with, now I see them in a whole different light, and we'll be just fine. And now I'm just fine with them people. Welcome to YouTube, welcome to life. Lovers become haters and haters become lovers. It is what it is. It is what it is. So Bombshell, I will remind you in that same video, in that very same video, my stream, in closing, I didn't forget that you stood up for me. I certainly did not. If you would have listened to my whole video, you would have seen just toward the end of that video, I made mention of you, Barnyard, Janie Bobaney, etc. Because I did remember the people that stood up for me, right? You being one of them. And I really did say some supportive things about you. So I'm sorry you didn't make it that far into the video, and I'm sorry that you reacted to me before completing that video, because I would have a hard time believing that you chose to react to me the way you did after watching my actual response to you and hearing what I had to actually say to you and about you. So that's that Bombshell. I do hope we can go forward with no hard feelings. And whether I impress you or not means really this much to me. But at least now you know where I'm coming from. So, good luck. I wish you well. And I'll see you around. Okay, before we move on to my next topic, I would like to remind everyone that the holidays are upon us, and I, just like every other content provider out there, do accept gratuities. So, if you will check down in the comment section, I will have a link for my PayPal. Under that, I will have my Cash App, mallerynow, that's MALLERY now. So listen, I know not everyone is able or even willing, but for those of you who are, I certainly appreciate it. Truly I do. Okay, now, our next topic. I'm going to be talking about the Christmas list. But not only am I going to be talking about the Christmas list, while I'm at it, I'm going to talk about Diane's channel in general. So, I know you're thinking, Mallory, are you really going to go there? Are you really going to go there, Mallory? It might be taboo. Taboo. Feels taboo, doesn't it? Feels taboo. Why is it? I don't know. It just feels taboo. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the whole enchilada, and I'm going to give my rundown. I'm going to give, listen, a lot of people may not like what I'm about to say. A lot of people. Probably not going to make any tips. There's probably going to be some people that never tip me again, and there might be some, I might get surprised. There might be a couple people that put a little something in my stocking. Listen, we're going to see. We're going to see. First of all, let's address this Christmas list thing. Here's the thing. Let me say right up front, Stephh, ain't nobody with any common sense believes a word you got to say or that wacky ass internet boyfriend of yours, right? From Turtletown, ain't nobody cares. We know that was nothing but a diversion to get the heat off of your sorry ass for so boldly working that boy over and taking his money. My opinion has shifted a little bit, by the way, just a little bit, after hearing her and Ninja Turtle up there, right? The cockiness and the nastiness coming out of both of their mouths in regards to this kid Gregory. Listen, she led that boy on. She led the boy on. I'm not going to get into it too much, but I'm going to say this. What would Judge Judy say, right? What would Judge Judy say? First of all, you're both nuts, right? You're both two potatoes that share the same sack. But putting that aside, right? If you had no intentions of doing any of this, first of all, why the hell are you talking to him in the first place? Right? She types in there, so you want to see me wearing a two-piece bathing suit and my feet? Right? If you weren't into what he was putting down, why not just cut the conversation right there? How about that? Why follow it up with more questions? Right? Why get him to say more? If you weren't into what he was putting down, why continue to have more sexualized conversation with him? To the point where he feels comfortable enough to send you a penis shot unsolicited. Oh, it was unsolicited. Was it really? Was it really? Because any blind person could see that you led him down a path where he would feel absolutely comfortable in shooting you off a BB bic. Whether you asked for it or not. Whether you asked directly for it or not. You put him in an arena that made him feel completely comfortable to do so by your conversations. You are a fraud. An absolute fraud. Okay, putting that aside. Putting it all aside. You threw out this whole Christmas list nonsense. Trying to throw Mandolin under the bus. Trying to throw Starlight under the bus. To get the heat off your ass. Ain't nobody believing this. That they started a list. Ooh. Stop the presses. First of all, even if they did start a list, right? Who cares? Who cares? Where was it written, right? In the fine print or any print that neither one of them could have started a list for their own unfortunate situation? Where was it written? Where would that have been taboo or unacceptable? Where? Nowhere. They could have easily started a list. They wouldn't have to hide and scam about it and be shady about it. All they would have had to do is start a list and say, hey, got a list. Got a list. Here's put it in with the other lists. Get some people to buy some stuff on the list. Who cares? You're a fool. You're a fool. All right. So here's the thing, people. That being said, I think the Christmas list thing was a good thing. And I believe that I think Diane and the people that helped her did with it the best that they could. For the first time out doing it, I think that it was overall a success. With a couple hiccups, right? Couple little hiccups, probably. But overall, it was a good thing. I think some people wound up with some things that they otherwise would not have had under the Christmas tree, if not for that list. I think that's fair to say, right? And bah humbug on the fools that are going to sit there and shit all over the Christmas list. Apparently, Diane wants to do another Christmas list this year. And I say to that, good. And I have a feeling it'll be better than last year. Because whatever they did, whatever they could have done better last year, it'll be improved. You learn trial and error, right? So make another list. Get your helpers involved. Put some more things under some people's Christmas tree. And make another list. And it's the holidays. This is the time to help others and to really put some love out into the world. Right? Stop the nonsense. Put some love into the world. There's some very giving people on YouTube. There's some very generous people, and there's some people that want to help some people. So put them in the position to help others. That's what I say. All right, let me talk about Diane's channel, how I feel about it. Obviously, some things went foul on Diane's channel. Shocker. Everyone's had opinions on it. Why I even have had my opinions on it. We've all been there. We've all made our comments somewhere along the lines, whether it be on video or even her side chat. Hell, I've even made a couple, nothing too harsh. I've made sarcastic, like taking notes, nonsense like that. Gonna need more paper, You know what I mean. I didn't go in there and be hateful. But, it's not my style. Not my style. I just prefer that dry-ass humor. I find it to be more effective, to be honest with you. But here's the thing, people. I think it's time to let the girl be. Let her be. Let it be. Let it be. It's just enough time has gone by. Enough is enough. Kind of the same lecture that I gave the previous segment. Your mental well-being has got to come into play. And to continue to combat a lady that you don't know based on something that you can't change, something that is what it is, meaning you believe something went down, she says you're wrong, it is, and it's never going to change. There's always going to be, it's always going to be a two-sided coin. It's always going to be. Here's what I say. I don't think Diane's ever going to be collecting money for St. Jude again. I think that's fair to say. I don't think she's going to be doing the St. Jude offerings anymore, right? So take solace in that. Take that as a small victory if you must, right? Walk away with that. Say, you know what? That's enough for me. That's enough for me. If you've got to have some sort of sense of accomplishment, take that as a sense of accomplishment. Diane is no longer going to be taking donations for St. Jude. But beyond that, she is a human being. She's entitled to have her YouTube channel. She's entitled to have a social outlet. And she's entitled to entertain just like any other content provider. And I just think enough is enough. If you don't like Diane, don't watch Diane, right? If you don't want to support her, don't support her. If you do like Diane, watch Diane. If you want to support her, support her. If you know, it's really that simple. If you like what she's doing, support it. If you like the idea of the Christmas list, go support it. Because it's a good thing. That's a good thing. I really don't want to hear, oh, the scamming. There's really no way you're going to scam that situation. Because you're literally going on and you're purchasing things. You're not donating cash. You're going on and you're to my understanding, and I hope I'm not getting this wrong, because to my understanding, you're going and you're purchasing items for these people. You're purchasing items that are on their list, and it's being shipped to their homes. And you check it off. It's like a registry. Let's put it at its baseline. It's like a gift registry. It's a gift registry. There's nothing fraudulent about that. Come on. Let's not try to tie everything to that St. Jude situation. Not everything Diane was involved with was caca. Let's just be real. Let's just keep it real. I don't think she would have survived on the YouTube as long as she did if everything she did was caca. I think that whole St. Jude just got bigger than it was ever intended to get, and it got out of hand, and it just should have been handled differently as time went on. So that's how I feel about Diane's channel. That's how I feel about people's mental health. Gotta let it go. Trust me when I tell you, people, your mental health is very important. There's a lot of people out there on YouTube that are becoming more vacant, and they're just more vacant, and they're stepping outside of their own being, their own personalities. They don't even recognize themselves anymore. They don't even know who they are anymore. Truly. Their behavior, their antics. I'm speaking from experience, by the way. Don't think I'm just sitting here doling out and not doing self-reflection. Trust me. I've got to keep myself in check. I have to keep myself in check. And I'm just trying to encourage some of you to do the same. To do some self-reflection and keep yourself in check. Because at the end of the day, you don't know these people. You're not sleeping with these people. You're not going on a car ride with these people. You're not going shopping with these people. They're not coming over to watch Netflix with you. Nothing. So you have to put this into perspective. And you've got to be willing to say, you know what? This is just YouTube. And you have to remember to put that just in there. It's very important. And I know a lot of you don't want to use that word just. You want to pretend it is your real life. And you want to convince, but this is my real life. It is not your real life. It may be a part of your existence, but it is not your real life. If you can't touch it, if you can't shake a hand, right? If you can't pull somebody's hair, if you can't smell their breath, right? It's not your real life. Disagree with me all you want, but when you do that, you're setting yourself up for absolute failure and a mental breakdown. That's the truth. But I'm no life coach. I'm no life coach. There you have it. If you enjoy this, please consider the PayPal link below, the Cash App below. I appreciate it. Till next time, do take care. Bye-bye.